Hi everyone, this is CricketSong with Lunar Wisdom, and this is another tarot spreads video. Today we are doing the spread for the astrological sign Scorpio, which is I Desire. You can find this this tarot spread, in this book, Tarot Spreads, the Illustrated Tarot Spreads by Hilmner and Schreiner. Illustrated Tarot Spreads. This particular spread is on page 88, right here, Scorpio, I Desire. There's the spread there. And this is what it looks like when I lay it out. Card number 1, which is here, is my tendency to suppress. Card number 2, which is here, represents my taboos. Card number 3, my sexuality. Card number 4, how do I see my death? Card number 5, my values. Card number 6, inheritance awaiting me. Card number 7, my tendency towards self-destruction. And card number 8, my profundity or depth /depth. Okay, we're going to look at it with the Rider-Waite Tarot, then we're going to compare it with the Greenwich Tarot. Okay, so let's take a look. Again, card number 1 represents my tendencies to suppress. Card number 2, my taboos. Card number 3, my sexuality. Card number 4, how I view or how I see my death. Card number 5, my values. Card number 6, inheritances awaiting me. Card number 7, my tendencies towards self-destruction. And card number 8, my profundity /depth. All right, my sun is a Scorpio, so I mean, let's see what this might reveal. Or, you know, I'm not actually sure how you might use this, whether you would pick the spread that you are, or whether you would, you know, if you want to see what you desire, you might then turn to Scorpio. Because in the past, I mean, I did Aries, which is I am. And I've done, what else did I do? Is that the only one I did so far? Leo. I think I might have done Leo, which is, I don't know. I'd have to look for it right now. Leo is I want. Hello, kitty. Leo is I want. So I don't know if you would look at the subtitle and then pick that one and then view it. Not sure, and I suppose it doesn't say it in the book, so I suppose you could use it in whatever way you wanted to. So let's take a look. So my tendencies to suppress is the King of Swords. So I would suggest that if I'm doing this and I'm looking at this for myself, I would suggest that the King of Swords would represent the personality traits that I suppress in myself, and or the side of me, because I generally look at court cards as personalities or people. So I would suggest that I have the King of Swords within me and I tend to repress it. So the King of Swords represents very strong masculine energy. Swords for me represent conflict or emotional shadows, you know, aggression and argumentative confrontation, that kind of self-destructive energy. Generally, when I see the King of Swords, he is sort of the type that would be very abusive and aggressive, domineering. So I would suggest that this card would represent energies I am repressing of my own personality within me. Card number 2, my taboos. Here we see the 10 of Pentacles reversed. I would suggest that here the taboo would be having a lot of wealth. I would view, if I saw this card, that possessing a lot of possessions or having a lot of possessions would be a taboo. Having a lot of money would be a taboo. Maybe having a lot, having a career that would give me fame or power or wealth, it would be a taboo. So for me, or if this was my card, I would suggest that, you know, I may have some shadows connected to this sort of thing. So this might even be hindering me from being successful because I have some sort of taboo connected to that, beliefs of that. The next card is my sexuality, which is the Two of Pentacles. I would suggest that here there is a focus on physicality. So I express my sexuality in a very physical way, but it's a very balanced way. When I see the Two of Pentacles, it talks to me, and it's upright, it talks to me about maintaining some sort of balance. So but it is a focus on physicality. So I have some sort of ability to balance the masculine and feminine expressions in a physical sense of that that I hold within me. I'm able to express it in a very physical way. Perhaps even if we're looking at this, it might talk about an attraction to both women and men, sort of a balance of, you know, like a bisexual urge, or I may have relationships, physical relationships with both men and women. Card number 4, how do I see my death? Here we see the Tower reversed, and I would suggest here that I would see my death in a very, if I would see the Tower upright, I would see in a very chaotic, energetic transition. I would view my death in a very chaotic way. I might even feel that I will die in a very dramatic or chaotic, my death, or would be instigated or motivated, or something chaotic, like an accident, some sort of chaotic, unexpected, destructive accident would lead to my death if it was upright. But because this is reversed, I almost feel like what I'm seeing here is I view my death as something that is going to be very unexciting, very unchaotic, perhaps just quietly die in my sleep kind of thing. Maybe not even sort of an expected, it's not going to be an unexpected trauma, but something just quietly, you know, getting old and just dying kind of thing. And it seems when I see the Tower card reversed, it would suggest that it's not going to impact others around me very chaotically. It's almost very an expected kind of thing. The next card is my values. So the 5 here, the position is 3 of Cups. So I look at this as friendship and social connections and interactions, those kind of relationships. So my values would be in relationships with others, the friendly, joyful, happy, you know, those kind of interactions is what I value. The relationships that are connected to that is what I value. The next card, card number 6, is inheritances awaiting me. The moon generally tells me of, you know, secrets and hidden wisdom, occult knowledge, that kind of thing. It's reversed. So this would talk to me about the inheritances that would be waiting me are things that are not of that hidden knowledge. Sort of, I'm already discovering that in the present. So things that would be waiting me maybe is the manifestation of all this knowledge, the understanding of what I already know, sort of an experience of that wisdom or that knowledge to bring me wisdom is sort of what how I would interpret that card. The next card is my tendency towards self-destruction. Here we see the 8 of Swords. And this talks to me about the tendency towards self-destruction is sort of, here I would say that I put myself in situations sort of like self-sabotage, or I believe that I am in these self-destructed or I plan to put myself there, and it's very easy for me to get out of it, but I don't see it, I don't want to see it, sort of like a self-punishment, self-sabotaging thing. And this is my tendency. My tendency towards this is exactly this. And I do so by sort of constructing this false scenario or false truth, and then I buy into that. That's how I would view this card. But it's very easy to get out of. All I have to do is deconstruct what I've created because it's of my own making. And the last card is my profundity or / depth. And that's the Magician reversed. So the Magician for me is the card that is talking about personal power. It's talking about having the ability and the skills to manifest whatever I want, to be that magician. It's reversed here. So this is telling me that sort of the depth of what I am, or what I'm holding within me, is this power. It's just unmanifested, it's unrealized. And even if I do identify as this person who can do this, I really haven't tapped into it. It's still really beneath the surface, and I really have to dive deep in order to tap into it and create that. And the reason why this might not be manifested is because of the tendency of self-destruction. So that's, those two cards are connected. So let's compare this to the Green Witch Tarot to see if anything would have changed in this particular reading. So I am going to place the cards down to see if I might have read it in a different way, if any of the cards would have given me a different reason, because meaning, because sometimes, you know, that happens when we use different decks, and sometimes there isn't much of a change. So with this particular deck, the King of Swords, I would read the same. The Ten of Pentacles, I would read the same. The Two of Pentacles, I would definitely read the same. The Tower card, and that was in the position of, how do I see my death? We have the Wild Hunt here. I might read this a little differently, but probably not. Maybe. Actually, I'm sitting here going through my keywords, and it's still very much the same. Very much the same in this. This Three of Chalices would be the same. The Moon would be the same. The Eight of Athames, still the same. And the Magician and the Witch. I would still read this whole thing. None of these cards really change the meaning for me. So this is exactly how I would read it, regardless of which deck I'd be using. So if you decide to do Scorpio for yourself or for someone else, I would love to see a video or to hear how it worked for you. So please share. And until next time, I love you. Blessed be.